The story behind my Lotus Elise is a simple yet strange one. I searched for cars over a variety of sources just as anyone else would looking up their favorite cars. And at one point I had almost given up Lotus Elise and just looked up other cars of my interest. Coming from the auto parts industry, I knew some parts were hard to find on the Lotus. Actually, a lot were hard to find. So I knew there was one place I could always check for used parts if I couldn't find anything, and that was eBay. As I was looking one day, I was curious to see what was one of the more expensive parts being listed on eBay for sale. I still remember setting that price point from high to low and listing them all out, and finding not the most expensive parts, but a whole car. I remember thinking, was it just a wrong chassis or something, or was left of a whole car? But it wasn't. It was a 2006 Lotus Elise, and the price actually seemed to be fair for the car. I was just a little lost on why it was being sold under eBay parts. I remember carefully looking at that, and something really caught my eye. It was in my hometown. It had been the closest one among the scarce ones for sale, considering the fact there was roughly only 40 leases for sale at the time nationwide. I had to go check it out, and to my surprise, there it was, a whole car awaiting me. A deal was met that I couldn't pass up, and the story after that was simple. I had now became an owner of the Lotus Elise simply due to the fact of a gentleman mislisting a car and getting no attention at all. Now I had some fears of owning one, just like maybe some of you. Looking over forums, different websites of probable concerns and common problems with the car, but it didn't scare me. The idea behind the car was one that always touched me. As Colin Chapman once said, simplify and then add lightness. And yes it was. The Lotus Elise was beyond a combination of simple and light. With its 150-pound aluminum chassis tub design and lightweight composite body shell led the Elise to weigh roughly 2,000 pounds. There couldn't have been any better of that combination. Since I was coming from a Scion FRS before this, I thought I had an idea of a fun and lightweight sports car, but I was simply wrong. When I first sat in the Lotus Elise, I remember immediately I felt tethered. After awkwardly sliding into the Elise, you realize the overall size of the car is small. Not tiny, but just small. The FRS was just a tad over a foot longer and a couple inches wider than the Elise. Once in, you don't really feel the car is that bad. There's adequate headroom and legroom. With my size of 6'2", I still had to scoot the seat up. Yet the car size made it easy to reach over and adjust the passenger mirror. Yet, I did have to remove my sun visor, as my visibility was very limited. Once you're in, the exposed aluminum tub is amazing to look at and feel. A reminder to the engineering that was put into the car. The steering wheel, on the other hand, is the smallest width of any steering wheel I'd ever had in a car, with the Scion FRS coming second. Yet it didn't feel unnatural, it feels perfect to begin any adventure. The journey with this car is not easy, but a rewarding one. You soon learn that everything this car offers comes with a compromise. The stunning exotic sports car offers plenty of sex appeal more than anyone can want. Its curves catches any eye, drawing you simply just to look at it and then want to invite you in. When you're driving, the car is loud. A lot of things rattle at certain RPMs from the resonating engine. If you don't feel bothered from that though, well, it's the harshest ride I had ever experienced on the road. Its short wheelbase, rigid chassis, and firm suspension leads to a reminder of what the car was designed to do. Don't think it can't be daily driven though. I have for many months. The trunk offers more satisfaction than one would assume. The padded carbon fiber seats will do its job of maintaining you while you drive, but soon could feel like a long chair after long driving. If you could bear the back-breaking ride, well, don't reach for the radio. It's pointless since you can't hear anything over the wind and road noise or driving above 3,000 RPM. When you're behind the wheel, you just find excuses to go through the gears and listen to that engine wind up. The sound is more fulfilling than one might think, especially coming from that Toyota 1.8 liter 4-cylinder engine. With the engine right behind you, it just amplifies the feel of the car and what it brings to you. Compromise. When I say compromise, I mean you don't get luxury, easy accessibility, or anything ordinary. You get quite the opposite. A car that is the definition of what a sports car should be. It beats you up a little, makes you work for it, especially with that manual steering. It all offers a great reward. You find yourself taking turns harder and harder, holding your speed more constant, and learning how to actually be a better driver. With only 190 horsepower, the engine might not seem like it has enough, but it actually does. It allows the car to be driven at 10/10 more often compared to other cars with more power. It's not a car for top speed or blistering accelerations, yet it isn't slow. With a top speed around 150 miles an hour at a 0 to 60 time in up to 4 second range, it's a perfect recipe for a fun and driver-oriented experience. So yes, in today's world, you may lose many drag races, but you sure could teach yourself to be a better driver. You will focus on the more important things of driving, the connection between you, the car, and the road. As for me, I realize that hates and problems are nothing, only opinions that become overcome with experience. Every day growing a little bit more respect for the car, I realize it does still have faults, problems, and concerns, but it's alright. It's a go-kart for the road that looks great and offers more smiles per mile than most will think. The Lotus Elise is a quid pro quo, a this for that when you give up everything you want in a car for everything you need. I won't say the Lotus Elise is an easy, inexpensive journey as I once thought, but my joy outweighs its faults. Well, if you could handle that, then Lotus Elise will be the best compromise you could ever want in a car.